Relax, sit back as we fill your mind with spooky true crime stories of the deranged, unhinged, and absolute pure evil murders that will blow your mind. Some places we will visit to show you around and educate you on the history. Other times we will bring you to the paranormal because the dead never lie silent for too long.
Be the last time anybody sees us alive. I don't know where she has us, but we're gonna get fucking killed.
Hello? Gina, there is a beehive over there. Do you see that in the hole?
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome.
We're back another week.
Yeah.
We just got back from Wisconsin. And well, I just want to let everybody know this is a shoot the shit. Yeah. We actually have no script. Really don't have an idea. We have an outline of what we're going to talk about, kind of like, just kind of tell you what we saw and share with you, because that's originally what our channel started out to be, is we visit places and we talk about true crime that comes from those places, haunted rumors, haunted locations, abandoned locations from those places, and bring you back the stories and the
urban
history
legends
of these places. Yes. So just want to let everybody know that Wisconsin is no longer known for the cheese. I'm just going to put it out there. I know everybody's just like, oh my God, cheeseheads, Green Bay Packers. No. Wisconsin, Gina's hat, home of cannibal killers and Happy Days.
That's right.
That's
Laverne
it.
and Shirley too.
I don't know. And you know what? Laverne and Shirley, we thought we were going to see a ton of stuff like souvenirs with Laverne and Shirley.
That's what I was honestly looking forward to more than anything. I thought I was going to come home with like so many souvenirs of Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
I wonder if that was more of a thing like in maybe the 80s, the 90s, but now it's like, how many years later?
Yeah, I don't know.
50 years, 40 years later?
I just thought at least like a sweatshirt or a t-shirt.
Promote it more.
Something, but like this is literally the only thing. I got this. I got a sticker that says the same thing. I got a pair of socks that says the same thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing that mentioned Happy Days. Mm-hmm. But there is a fawn statue there.
Yes,
so, hey.
There is.
So, and if you don't know who these people are, you are listening to the wrong channel, because we are two old ladies who don't know anything that's hip about today, but we do know everything about Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But we have the cannibal killer. Yes. So when we chose to go to Wisconsin, I called Gina and I said, we can stay at the Pfister Hotel.
The Pfister. You guys don't even want to know how many different names this hotel had for the last week. The Feister, the Pfizer. There was a few, but it was never the Pfister.
Who would think it would be called the Pfister? Okay, I just can't.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how it's spelled.
It is, but I don't know. So it was between the Pfister and the Ambassador, where Dahmer killed his first victim. So I called Gina and I said, which one do you want to stay at? Because I know she's notorious for staying in hotel rooms of serial killers. But she said, you choose. And of course, well, the Pfister was known for being one of the most haunted hotels in America.
No, it is.
Like legit, like there are baseball players, and there are stories out there that some baseball players won't even stay there. We got Mookie Betts, who won't stay at the Pfister. He gets
rents like an Airbnb. Yeah,
when they're in town to play ball. Mm-hmm. When we were there, the Arizona Diamondbacks were there at the same hotel. And so, surprise, surprise, we chose the Pfister because it was a nicer hotel. Yeah. And I said, well, it's nicer and it's got ghost. So, let's do, we haven't really done anything like haunted or anything. Mm-mm. And then we have the Ambassador, and
we still haven't done anything as far as ghosts because nothing happened.
I wrote that in their review.
Except we slept really well.
We always sleep really well in the haunted hotels. Like, I can't tell you how good of sleep we get in haunted hotels.
Shannon was terrified when we went to Tonopah to spend the night at the Clown Motel. And she woke up the next morning and she's like, that's the best night's sleep I've ever had.
The ghosts must be rubbing my feet, rubbing my back. I don't know what they're doing, but they are lulling me to sleep. And I just sleep like a baby every single time. Maybe I'm possessed. Maybe they just enter my body because they want to rest. They like, oh, you know what? I want to feel what it feels like to be Shannon. And they just enter my body.
You never
and
know.
just sleep. I don't know. But I always get the best sleep possible. I wrote that in my review to the Pfister. I said, wonderful hotel, awesome employees, wonderful people. I love
the service
staying
was
there.
amazing.
Amazing. And just everybody was just so nice, except for the fact that we were not visited by a ghost.
Yeah, we weren't.
So that was the only thing that was disappointing in that hotel. But we did do a Dahmer tour.
We did. I was
Information.
yeah, I had read up like a little bit on it, and it said that it was like a very popular tour. It was talked about on the news. It was talked about on different like Netflix series and stuff like that. So I think you know, which sometimes happens, is you get hyped up like for a movie or something. And then when you watch the movie, you're like, oh, you feel a little let down. Yeah. That's kind of how I felt about this.
And it's not because the guy, great tour guide, lots of information.
Well,
But
here's the thing. I had dinner with
it was
my
the
mom,
locations.
my mom and my daughter last night. And so we were kind of talking about it. And my daughter's like, what did you not like about it? And I said, well, I feel like he just regurgitated information that I already knew. And my daughter said, do you think that the majority of people know what you know? Like, do you think they really study this as hard as you do? And so that's a good point to bring up, because a lot of people might know about him, but might not know all the details surrounding the things, because I've read books on him. We've done, you know, so that kind of made me think like, you know what, maybe that's why it does get a lot of attention, and why people really enjoy it is because they're getting all this information that they didn't know.
That was me, because I had a different take on it. She walked out. I'm like, I thought I got a lot of great information, but I haven't and it's not that the information is not out there for me to study. I've chosen not to.
Yeah.
I have a huge...
And it's hard.
Yeah.
That case is hard for some people.
It's so hard because I have a huge problem with harm being done to children.
Yeah.
And with the little boys underage.
And I know a lot of people couldn't even make it through the Netflix series.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
I watched...
it was hard.
I don't even think I sat through the first episode of it, because I think that's when they have the little boy running or something.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's hard to get. It was hard for me to get through.
Yeah. So I couldn't do it. So I didn't know a lot of the information. And the tour guide went through every single murder he committed.
Yeah. He's very, very, very knowledgeable.
And we went to, I thought was cool. We went to the gay bars and the drag, talked about the drag shows and the gay bars where these men were picked up at. And we actually walked to these bars, and some of the bars are closed down, but there's one, Lacage, still open, still running. That's scary to think that, right there in that neighborhood.
Well, in that street, like so let me back up a little bit. We met at a place called Shakers Cigar Lounge, and that's where you meet your tour guide, and it's a restaurant, a cigar lounge, whatever.
Awesome place.
Yeah, if you're ever in Milwaukee, you need to definitely go there.
And we're not cigar smokers, and
No.
we weren't even bothered by it because great ventilation.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
So we met there, and pretty much along this whole street that this cigar lounge is on are all these clubs where he would go to pick up his victims. And it's just weird being on that street, knowing that he walked those streets. He was in Shakers a lot, they said, or not a lot, but they said, he would frequent it.
And the owner actually was like, hey, when they were looking for a guy, they said, hey, there's this strange guy that comes by here.
They said he used to sit in the back on a chair. And so that was super cool to walk those streets that he walked and see firsthand like what everything looked like, where these clubs were at and everything like that. I think I wanted to go by like where, and I know that his apartment building is no longer there, and I don't know how far away it is from
I don't know either.
where we were, but I thought we would go by that. I thought maybe we would, just go by different
the grandma's
locations.
house, because he frequented this area a lot, and he lived at the grandma's house before getting kicked out by the grandma
Right.
and having to move. So I'm wondering if the grandma's house somewhere near there
Gotta
in that
be.
area,
Yeah.
if he's coming down to this area, or was he traveling a ways down to this area and not living nearby because
Didn't want to be noticed
Yeah.
or recognized.
And at the time, the tour guide's telling us at the time, this is during the AIDS epidemic and the scare, and a lot of people didn't know how you would get it or catch it.
Right.
And so a lot of these clubs and all of these places were operating kind of undercover.
Yeah.
Or this was more of a seedy part of town. Right now it's all touristy, it's all nice, it's got some cool bars.
Yeah.
But during this time,
Yeah,
it wasn't
a little
like
different.
that. Yeah, it was a little bit different, a little bit more seedier, and
It wasn't, I wouldn't say it's a great neighborhood.
oh no, it's not. It's in
But-
downtown Milwaukee.
Yeah. But it wasn't horrible.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't horrible at all.
I mean, we're a little naive. We don't know when we're in a bad neighborhood or not. We're tourists and we are just walking around like through the streets with no care in the world. I am telling you. And
Yeah, we were in downtown Chicago, just rolling around, just the two of us. And
did a mop tour though. I mean, that was
we
pretty
did.
cool.
We did a mop tour there, and that was very, very cool.
And the streets were clean. I even mentioned like, hey, this kind of looks like a cleaner New York to me. Like,
Yeah, no, it was very clean.
we walked like 3 miles from one location to another.
Yeah, we were literally walking all day long.
Yeah.
And then we get back to Milwaukee that night, and we go to get a tattoo. And the girl who's tattooing me is like, oh, I really wanted to go see this concert in Chicago, but I was too afraid. And so I was like, really? I was like, huh. I was like, we were down there all day. So she's like, are you serious? And I said, yeah. She's like, you guys were just like walking around? And I said, yeah. She's like, oh, that wasn't very safe.
And I know that I hear stories about Chicago being like, there's a lot of crime that's committed in Chicago, especially a lot of gun violence in Chicago. But I'm thinking we're in a touristy part. I don't know why, because the mob tour was there. So I just figured like, okay, we're in a touristy part. I mean, they even have like a street down there that's kind of like, Saks Fifth Avenue type street.
Yeah.
Or like, New York has, that little, what is it, Fifth Avenue? I don't even know. But, real posh little stores and everything. But I guess apparently when you start wandering away from those areas, you're probably not in the best area, but here we are. Yeah. And so it is very fitting that me and Gina got a Schlemiel Schmazel. I can't say it right. Schlemiel Schmazel. Did I say it right? Schlemiel. I can say mine.
Read your leg.
Mine's Schlemiel.
Yes.
What's yours?
Schlemazel.
Schlemazel. So we didn't know what it meant, but we knew we wanted something from Laverne and Shirley. Yeah. And we're like, that would be kind of cool, but what does that even mean? And it means fools, the fools. So it's pretty fitting.
Pretty spot on.
It's like clueless and luckless. And that's pretty much us when we go on vacation. Even though we try to play it safe when we look like it. We don't travel late. When we stayed in El Paso, we knew we were in danger.
Oh, we knew we were by the border and we needed to get in, or it was going to be game over.
Yeah, we weren't walking around that neighborhood.
No, I think the probably most dangerous stuff we did was in Wyoming.
Yeah, I mean,
being completely
in the middle of nowhere.
Off the grid, no cell service, 7 miles off the main street, out just hearing gunshots galore going off. I would say that was probably the most unsafe thing that we did. I don't think we've done anything super, super unsafe.
No, I think we're pretty smart about our travels.
And because it's always just her and I, we just travel by ourselves. We don't usually bring people with us. So it's, we try to stay as safe as possible, but we do.
But we usually meet up with people we know. Like when we're traveling to Texas, my daughter's there. We traveled to Wyoming. My son's there. We traveled to Wisconsin. Heidi was there. Yeah. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. But the Dahmer, going back to Dahmer, there was a lot of information on the tour that they gave that, you knew about, but me, I didn't. So I'm like sitting there going, oh my goodness, he did that. Like he boiled the skin off people. Yeah. And the only reason why we don't do these infamous cases because, and Gina, because she knows a lot about it. Like, we just figure people know a lot of information about it. You got the Netflix series, you got things like that share everything with it. And what more can we give you other than the fact that we went on this tour and we were able to see everything?
I feel like even if like Netflix didn't make the Dahmer series or anything like that, I still feel like that's something I wouldn't really want to touch because so many people have such a hard time with it. I think the only time that we really mentioned Jeffrey Dahmer is in our Adam Walsh episode.
But we also mentioned it in our Gacy. And
you're right.
And our, what was the other one?
John Wayne Gacy and the Candyman.
And the Candyman.
Dean Coral.
There's a rumor that there was some kind of
connection.
Yeah, like a sex trafficking ring with little boys. But we've never dived into the stories. And giving the Candyman story, you had to tell that story.
Yeah.
Like, it was a really bad story. It was a really heavy story for me, and I have a really hard time with it. Yeah. But on the lighter,
if you haven't watched those, go back and watch those, because those are there's a few that we did when we were in Texas on the Texas killing fields, and then we did the Candyman. There was quite a few. We kind of broke down like all the people into like decades.
Yeah, for the
Texas killing fields.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But on a lighter note, after we did that tour, the Shakers building had a lot of history. And the history is that it was owned by Al Capone. And Al Capone had a speakeasy there. They had a front store that sold, I forgot, they sold something in the front.
Yeah.
And then they had the speakeasy in the back hidden. So there's like this little trap door that you can do this tour inside there where they walk you through and they show you this trap door where not kind of trap door, but a door
I think
where
it was like
get out fast.
His exit more
from the basement where he can escape, like, police raids and stuff. And then they had a brothel that was upstairs that ran all the way to like 1930s, 1940s, this brothel.
2 stories up.
They had a
second and a third floor.
Yeah, because
and a basement.
It was a 4-story building.
Yeah.
But it was like the second floor of the building, but the first floor of the brothel was like, the B girls, and then they had the A girl. And it was a really interesting tour.
Yeah.
And they shared a lot of stories and a lot of stories about ghosts and spirits in there. And I still haven't gone back to look at the pictures because
I haven't either.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll go back.
Yeah,
and we'll
I haven't
start dissecting the pictures and seeing if we caught anything, because we were taking a ton of pictures. Because they say take a lot of them, because they actually have people who send them pictures.
Yeah.
Of things that they've caught on film. But I'm going to tell my little story about when I went into the bathroom before I even knew.
Oh, yeah.
That there was anything happening. So I go into this bathroom of the Shakers, and I'm the only one in there. And I go to the restroom, and I come out. I'm just thinking, this is such a beautiful restroom. Like, it's so, so pretty. So I decided I'm going to take out my camera and kind of, do like a panning and circle around, and, because there's really cool pictures on the wall and the wallpaper and how they have it decorated. And I'm slowly going around, and they have this mirror across. And as I'm slowly going around right here, I see, when you see something out of the corner of your eye, but through the mirror, like something ran by. But I was like, oh, got to be like my hair, my something, like whatever it is. And so I just kept going. So I haven't gone back to look at that video yet either. But when we were taking the tour, they brought us into the bathroom, was telling us about a little girl that's in that bathroom.
Yeah.
Because that Shakers is built on a cemetery that they didn't bother to remove.
Yeah.
Because I guess if you were rich, you can afford to move your family because you would have had to pay for it. But if you were poor, you didn't have the means to remove your family.
Yeah, you were just left there.
So they just built it on top. Sort of like San Diego. When we went to San Diego.
Yeah, same thing.
All of Old Town
San Diego is all a cemetery.
It's built on a cemetery.
And if you look in the streets, they have like the little markers in the street, in the asphalt.
Yeah, they tried to put little markers of where people were buried.
Yeah.
To signify that there are people still underneath
here.
the ground. And that's why Old Town is so haunted.
So very haunted.
Yeah. So I would recommend definitely seeing Shakers. I mean, most people don't think like, oh yeah, let's go to Milwaukee,
Yeah.
but I was really excited. But we originally were going for Heidi, you know, because Heidi was there.
We were going to go for the Jane's Addiction show. I just want to speak a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Rare Form Radio has put up, Dan and Todd did an 1.5-hour episode breaking down everything that happened.
What led up to it. What
happened after the fact that nobody knew about. And Variety just picked up the episode and wrote an article about it. So, yeah.
You go, Dan.
Yeah.
So please head over there and check it out.
If you guys have not listened yet, it's episode 313 of Rare Form Radio, and it's with Dan and Todd.
Just dropped today on YouTube.
Just dropped today on YouTube. And he actually has isolated Perry's audio. And so you can hear, it's like everything else is cut out. You just hear him. And he says some pretty foul things. Mm-hmm. So, so head over to Rare Form Radio. If there's any Jane's Addiction fans here that want the full scoop, that's where to get it.
Even if you're not a Jane's Addiction fan, it's actually pretty interesting to see, because this is actually history, like what leads up to a band breakup. Like, you know, because you always hear about these things like, you know, this band broke up, this band broke up.
Two sides of the story.
Yeah. And so, but I think this one, I'm going to say this one's probably the most democratic, most unbiased, because I feel like even though, you know, Todd is best friends with Dave, but Dan, he's been with the band. He's a big, huge Jane's Addiction fan even before he worked with them. And I feel like, you know, he does compliment them. He's always said that they were very generous, the Perry camp. And so I felt like he did it where he didn't want to bash him, but
no, he wasn't bashing him at all.
But here are the facts of what happened.
And that needed to be done.
And I'm not trying to sway you one way or another. I'm just laying out the facts. You make your decision.
Yeah.
So I think it was done very well with a lot of class.
Yeah.
So
no, it absolutely
even if
was.
You're not a huge fan of Jane's Addiction, even if you've never heard about Jane's Addiction, it's a very, very interesting story. If you haven't heard about what happened between Jane's Addiction,
I'm sure everybody's heard about it. It's
just Google Jane's Addiction fight.
Yeah, it's been all over the news.
Yeah. And then you can go ahead and check it out. But I thought both of them did a very, very good job at telling the story.
No, they did.
Yeah.
They actually did.
Yeah.
So
no, definitely check it out. And I'm very proud of Dan. Picked up by Variety. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, and I figured that would happen once it came out. And I'm glad that because originally he had said, you know, that he was going to do an episode about it after, you know, the dust settled.
Yeah.
But he chose to do it sooner, which I'm glad, because it didn't give anybody else a chance to come out with a different story, which somebody already tried to do.
That's what I think. I think you can see kind of like other people were trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
But he was actually literally there. Like
he's the one that broke the fight up.
Yeah.
So
he's the first one you see on stage coming out. So he had front row from beginning, because it wasn't even like he had to run far. Like he was literally standing right there because he's the guitar tech.
Yeah.
So he's literally standing right there. So, you know, definitely go over there and find out that the reason why they were fighting is because I was supposed to be a backup dancer. And
so then we're going to transition now to Shannon's
version of
things. I don't know if you guys caught the episode of Rare Form Radio where Shannon auditioned for the band to be a backup dancer.
I did. And I feel like Dave really wanted it to happen, but Perry was like, no, my wife is the backup dancer. And Dave said, but I have somebody who's really super fucking talented who needs to be on stage. And Perry was like, fuck you. I don't care if my wife is not talented. She is my wife. And so she deserves this spot because come on, we said that we were going to be voting. It's going to be Democratic. And I'm voting for Shannon. That was Dave's position. And Dan's, by the way, because I really think, and then, let's just throw in Heidi in there, because I think she really was for it as well. Even though she's not part of the band, I think she should have a voice in it. And Gina, of course. So, yeah, but, I'm sorry. Everybody, it's my fault. So you can send all your hate mail to me, because that's the reason why Jane's not traveling anymore and they broke up.
Yeah. So that's... Yeah, that was Shannon's.
And if you want
big news,
and if you want to check out that video, you got to watch Rare Foam Radio for it. Yeah,
we never posted it.
My dance audition.
Dan did.
Dan
it was done in the car on the 10 freeway. It was really interesting.
Well, I mean, that takes talent.
It does. You're absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I look that,
I'm not going to argue with you.
If I look that good on the 10 freeway in a car, backup dancing to a song,
pretending you have a whip in your hand,
imagine me on stage.
I don't have to imagine that. I've seen it all up close and personal.
Just check out my TikToks too. You will see the magic of my dancing. Yeah, professional. So anyways, and if you don't think it is, it's because you're not up to date on the new dance moves.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. That's all I had to say about that one. So I'm really sorry, guys. But
so anyway, getting back to our trip. Yeah, we went to Chicago. So we spent a day in Chicago. We did
the deep dish pizza.
Yes, we wanted to try deep dish pizza. And so we did.
And you know what? Deep dish pizza out here that kind of tries to replicate it. I'm going to say that it wasn't anything like how I had it. Like,
well, now
it wasn't as bready.
Now I'm like questioning myself. Have I ever eaten deep dish pizza?
I have.
Probably not Chicago style, because I've never eaten anything like that before.
Thank you. That's what I think. Like Chicago style, like maybe that's this thing is like we've eaten like supposedly a deep dish, but it wasn't Chicago style because it always felt really bready. But this one,
not at all.
Okay, if nobody's had it, I'm just going to explain it. It's got this thin layer of crust, right? And then you put the toppings, no sauce. You just put we got spinach, cheese, pepperoni, and spinach. So we had tons of cheese, pepperoni, and spinach. And then another.
And spinach.
You know how I say spinach. And so the spinach on top. And then we put another thin layer of crust, and then the sauce goes on top of that, and with no more cheese on top. Like literally, if you scratched off the sauce, you would have I don't know, it kind of reminded me of a calzone of some sort. But it was just no sauce inside. It was just, but it was, oh my gosh, it was so good.
It was good. It was really, really good. Definitely not what I was expecting. If you do order it, allow for a little bit of a wait. Because they told us it would take about 45 or 50 minutes. It was actually quicker.
It was a lot quicker, but I think if they have a lot of orders.
Yeah, it does take a little while. But yes, it was excellent.
And we had it at this place. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, this place, everybody recommended it. It's called Giordano. I have no idea. I can't say Italian names. Giordano. Giordano's. Thank you. Giordano's. This is us right here. So
yeah, they had a nice little person walking around taking pictures. So of course, we had to get our picture taken.
They had, at first I thought I can take one home to my son. So, we only ate 3 slices total out of the pizza between us. And so we put the rest in a to-go, but within 5 minutes of stepping out the restaurant, a homeless guy came up, so I handed him the rest of it so he can eat it.
So he ate the rest of our
pizza. But they had frozen ones there, but I'm like, I have no place to hold them or carry them.
Yeah, this was we still had at least 24 hours before we were leaving.
But my coworker comes to me today and she's telling me oh, you ate she goes, I said, I did deep dish in Chicago. She goes, did you try Giordano's? I can't say it. I'm not even Giordano's. And she said, did you try that? I said, that's where we went. That's where everybody recommended it. She goes, you can order it off the Costco website frozen and they'll deliver it to your house. I literally went to Costco website. It's $90 for 3 pizzas.
What?
But the pizzas are bigger. Like it's not
$90
for 3. So you get a cheese one, a pepperoni one, and a sausage one. But it's for the 3 pizzas, you get 90. But we paid $24 for a tiny one, so $30 for the bigger one. So, but for a frozen pizza, I mean, But you pay $30 for each. It's per pizza, but it was $89. I'm waiting for a coupon to come out, but it was $90.
I wonder how they taste.
I don't, but it was the same box and everything that we saw when we went there where you can buy them.
Yeah.
So I think it comes straight from there, but I'm wondering what they taste
like.
like.
And they have super cool t-shirts there too.
They had really super cute t-shirts.
We didn't buy them, but they had really, really cute t-shirts.
Like one said, like the guy he came up and he's like, I'm into fitness. And he turns around, fitting this pizza into my mouth. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he started mentioning all the really cute pizzas all the really
and for
cute
any
t-shirts.
of you people like Ren, Jenna, Amber, Karen, all you guys, I know you guys know a different version of fitness.
Yeah.
That's like back in the dark matter days, but it wasn't fitting a pizza in your mouth.
It was, is that where it's from?
Yeah. Honestly, Dave is the first person that I've ever heard use that term. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, no, definitely check that out. Kudos and shout out to everybody in Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
everybody
Illinois,
was
Chicago.
super helpful.
We had a really great time. We had a lot of fun. And so if you go out there, definitely do the mob tour.
Yeah, the mob tour was amazing.
You went down, you saw the alley where Dillinger was shot. They give you all the history for it. The tour guide, she was hilarious. She had a lot of jokes. I really liked her. She was very entertaining. The bus driver was excellent, especially maneuvering that bus through the streets of Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
And the bus was so comfortable.
Oh, yeah. It was
very,
like
very comfortable.
It looked like a party bus. It was like one of those loungy, real nice bus. And then doing the tours, of course, at Shakers.
Yeah.
With the ghost tour about Al Capone. And there's so much history in these areas.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
There really is.
We had a great
shout
time.
out to the I don't even remember the tattoo shop that we went to.
Oh my gosh, what was it called? Oh my goodness, but it was Lennox and Deary. I want to find them because I want to write a review for them.
Yeah, they were amazing. So the thing about Milwaukee is everything closes at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. When I say everything, I mean everything.
Yeah. Shops are open from like 10 to 3.
Yeah. It's just like they wake up late, they go to bed early. I don't know what the deal is, but anybody's from Milwaukee, please let me know.
Yeah.
So we had come back from Chicago at like 6 or 7 o'clock. And
we ate at AJ Bombers.
Yeah, we ate at AJ Bombers.
So good.
And so
we're giving shout out. We're like a commercial for Chicago and Milwaukee.
And so we were like, okay,
we told you this was a shoot the shit.
we need to find a tattoo shop that's open. And mind you, it was a Monday night.
Yeah.
So we're like, everything's going to be closed. So we got some names from some people from AJ Bombers where we ate. And these people were open and they actually took walk-ins. They were very, very cheaply priced. And they took us literally the second we walked in.
Within minutes.
They had our tattoos drawn up and we were getting tattooed. We were in and out of there in an hour at the very most.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never had it done that fast. Even during flash tattoos. Like
even when we went to Salem, we waited hours.
Just to get fitted in. Yeah.
Hours for our little tiny, tattoo. So, so shout out to God, I can't remember their name, but
I'm trying to think of it.
Lennox was the person who tattooed.
And I had Deary.
Yeah.
No, Deer. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Deer, don't come after me.
Yeah.
Deer. D-I-E-R. But yeah, no, they were really super cool, really super nice. And so
everyone was really nice that we encountered. So it was a good trip.
Yeah, I think everybody should go and visit Wisconsin, and not just for the cheese and the Cheeseheads and the Green Bay Packer games.
Yeah.
So in Chicago, not just for the Bears.
Before we end, I want to ask, like, if you guys could just comment below if anybody is watching the Monsters series on the Menendez brothers. I haven't. Are you done?
I'm not done. I'm like on the 5th. I'm almost done, I think.
There's 9 episodes.
I'm on the 5th or 6th.
Okay. I'm still only on the 2nd, so
Okay.
I haven't got very far yet.
I wanted to shoot the shit on that, but we're not done yet.
No, we're not done, and we will do an episode on it when we're done. But I would just like to know people's feelings. Don't give anything away, but just like, what are your feelings if you guys have watched it, or even if you've only watched part of it? Like, what are your thoughts about how it's being done?
Yes,
I'm really interested. So, so thank you for joining us for another week. Our live that we did in Milwaukee is up.
It was our first time.
It was our first time, and if you watch it, you can totally tell because we're standing in front of the computer trying to like fart around with it, having no idea that we're like live.
We're like, but you know what? It was fun.
But we got there eventually. So just fast forward a little bit, and then you can hear us talk.
Thank you to everybody.
Yes,
and then just want to do one more shout out to our best friends in Wisconsin for Caitlin and Carly.
They actually took us for a drink.
They did. And it is Carly, right? It was Caitlin and Carly, right?
Sure.
Oh my God. I'm the worst best friend ever.
But you did better than I did because I don't remember.
Only because Caitlin, I remember specific because it was the same as my niece's or my cousin's name. But
I think you're right.
I think it's Caitlin and Carly. Because I was like C and K or K and C, KK. But
we met these 2 girls at when we did the ghost tour, and they were absolutely freaking hilarious.
I think they need to be stand-up comedians.
Yeah,
they were cracking me up.
They were really funny. They made the night was great. We were going to go back to our hotel because we were going to do the live. And they were like, no, come to the bar with us. Just have a drink. We'll buy you guys a drink. So we did. We went to the bar, which is something we never would have done. Neither one of us drink.
We don't ever go to bars.
Never. And so we were like, you know what?
Let's go to a bar.
Let's do it.
Okay,
so we went. They bought us a drink, and we stayed
drank
there for a while. And we drank our drink, and we had fun. And then they went back to their house, and they watched our live.
So shout out to them. I love them.
Yeah. So that was fun. So, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we will see you guys soon. And, I think that's all. I feel like I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. Probably.
Have a great week. Be safe and talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.